Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome to Final Fantasy Freddy's, or Final Fantasy Kinyobi, as I have finally learned how to pronounce it in Japanese, and I am advertising it as Japanese everywhere. I wouldn't exactly say advertising this show, but, you know, I'm happy with all you guys already. So, let's get to business. Now, today's podcast is going to be sort of more FF 14 oriented, as the release is coming up particularly soon. It is 10 days, what am I talking about? 30 days? No, 20 days, I believe. Yeah, 20 days. A couple of weeks, anyway, until Final Fantasy XIV A Real Reborn is released August 27th on PS3 and PC. Now, in the last episode, we touched briefly on it, but essentially, all that was about was why it's not coming to the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Now, this is, you know, you can see that coming. They're blaming the fact that it's not cross-compatible with the other people on the different servers and in-game servers, but I think that's a bit bullshit. I think they just want to stick to their ground. I think they want to stay clear of Microsoft, because Square Enix and Microsoft haven't had that great dealings in the past. Because, I mean, Final Fantasy XIII was the first Final Fantasy to come to Xbox. In fact, to even touch the Xbox. It didn't even come on the first Xbox. I was going to call it Xbox One there, but we can't anymore. But still, it wasn't even out on the original Xbox. So, Xbox fans, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to get yourself a PC. Well, everyone's got a PC nowadays. Come on, we're not that old. But you're going to have to pick that up if you want to play Final Fantasy XIV. Now, was this a wise move? Because I've been reading on some forums and all that, being the geek that I am, that people wouldn't really mind having a non-cross-compatible shards, because that's what Elder Scrolls Online try to do, even though granted it's only coming to PC. But I think that's next gen as well, I'm not too sure. But when Final Fantasy XIV gets re-released again on the PS4, it's going to be able to join in with all of these other people. Now, I think that's quite a charming thing to do, because it's not leaving them out of the next gen. Now, technically they aren't next gen, but they're getting a chance to play with these next gen players, which, you know, it can be seen as a good thing. It's because they're getting in on the action, really. But with Elder Scrolls Online, they try to have everything on one shard. Now, a shard is like, when you go on to an MMO, you've got all the different picks. You can call them servers if you want, but shards are like different fragments of one big mega server. Now, the big mega server, or the mega shard, whatever you want to call it, that is where everything sort of comes together, and more MMOs are trying to have just one of these and no like other shards. Like, it's going to be multinational, different time zones are all going to be playing at once, different platforms, all these people can join in at once. It's going to be a ever running, you'll never find a server that, like a US one, that has low activity times. This big server will always keep running no matter what. Someone will always be on it, no matter where you are in the world. You can play with people from Korea for all I care, or I don't know if they would care or not, but still, yeah. That's pretty much what I had to touch on about that sort of Xbox thing. But I don't think it's fair, really. I think you guys should get a chance. Poor little Xbox people. Okay, next piece of news. That wasn't really any news. I haven't done any news yet. So, first piece of news. The Real Reborn Beta thoughts are in. Yes, the Phase 3 of Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn Online. Beta testing has ended, and it received over 1 million registers. Now, 1 million people registering to play in a beta isn't fucking bad at all. Normally in a beta you're hoping for, well, a couple hundred, maybe not even a couple 100,000, just 1,000 would do, because it's sort of centralized. Granted, they did advertise it wherever they fucking could. They could tattoo it on our arses if they get the chance to. They probably would. Even though looking at your arse is a hard thing to do. Like, I've never actually, have I seen my arse? I think I have seen it. I've not seen in great detail, but I have. I know I am aware of my arse and its demographics on my body. I'm aware of all this. It has no Final Fantasy XIV logo on it, I can tell you for that. But this other piece of news sort of coincides with Lightning Returns and Final Fantasy XIV, The Miqo'te, the little cat lady costume, is coming to Lightning Returns. And we did see a kind of sort of standard definition picture of this sort of grainy horribleness, and it has been, like, Famitsu is where we find out everything first. Yes, there are some scans in Famitsu, and also with the Cloud costume, the soldier's costume, you also get the victory pose from Final Fantasy XIV, which is like you sort of bust yourself out a bit for the Miqo'te, and that looks pretty cool. I think I'll enjoy dressing up Lightning as that, but it sort of fits in with their garb system. Like, you can wear 3 garbs at once, so you can have the Miqo'te, Yuna, and Cloud. These people, you could dress up as them, and I don't know actually about Yuna's if it is like a thing to. I don't know if you get the victory fanfare or the pose even. If you got the Final Fantasy XIV fanfare, I'll be quite happy, because I quite like that one. It's like Final Fantasy XII, but it sort of brings back the old. Like that, you know. I'm sorry for that terrible interpretation of the Final Fantasy victory fanfare there, but yes. Last thing I really want to cover, I wouldn't use the word wanna, I'm just doing it anyway, is that these geeky geeks out on the internet there, like myself, have been doing some fishing around. Now, no doubt, since the Final Fantasy XV release, there has been some person, somewhere, looking at that trailer every single day and trying to pick out absolutely everything from it and compile it into one Tumblr post, or whatever, as you people do, I don't know. But some very lovely, lonely, and saddening person has discovered that there are strange monsters in the Final Fantasy XV logo. So, I'm going to put that up on the screen right now. Well, it should be up on the screen. You can see it on the Final Fantasy Fridays logo. You can have a look at it. Now, granted, I did change the colour for the intro, but, oh fuck, the pen! It's gone. On the floor. Okay. Come on, pen. Ah, the pen's back. But yeah, I had a look at it, and there's one thing that I didn't notice. To the left side of the logo, there is like sort of like dragons that look out of shape, really. They don't look as if they should be there. It's like all the logo is sort of browny, blacky, silvery, but there's like these little yellow bits at the side that look like little dragons. Now, that was a bit that eluded me, but apparently no, that's nothing. The bit that we should be looking for is at the top of the logo, where I believe it's supposed to be Etro. That used to be Etro. People used to say it was Etro, but I don't know if it is. But on the top of her head, you can see sort of 2 monster-like things, and everyone thinks these are Levithian and Bahamut, but I can't really vouch for that, because I don't really care, to be quite honest. Nothing like there's anything wrong with looking at a logo for hours on end and trying to pick out every piece of crap you can from it. I think that's totally fine if that's what you want to do in your summer holidays. But yeah, you should. It is kind of intriguing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I read the article on it, I was just like, okay, I think I'm gonna have a little look at this. One of those things, you know, you wanna see. But yeah, go check that out. And thank you very much, guys. I will leave you all to it. Now, I have been planning on doing a little special thing for you guys for being so patient with me and everything and tolerating me. And I was thinking of doing a sort of, not another show, but like a longer version of the show. Not, like, I just want to sit down one day and I'm going to let the whole thing out. So, what I want you guys to do is give me some topics you want me to discuss in this big Final Fantasy Fridays, big massive bonza for unknown reasons at this precise time. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a big long podcast. That's unfortunate for you, I know, but if you guys want anything to do with this, I don't imagine you would, but if you do, put in the comments stuff that has intrigued you, like favourite Final Fantasy games. Do a Q&A even. We'll even do a Q&A if you want. You can put questions in the comments or things you want me to discuss. If you guys want to say some stuff as well, I'll give you a shout out and everything. But yes, guys, I will see you all then. So thank you very much for watching.